Title: Love in the Deserted Valley? Asterisk. Word count: 1800 asterisk. The wind howled across the vast, empty valley, carrying with it the scent of dust, wild sage, and loneliness. The sun dipped low over the western horizon, painting the dying sky in shades of orange and crimson. Somewhere in that silence, a single rider appeared, a man with a weather-beaten face, his hat tilted low, his heart heavier than the saddle he carried. His name was Ethan Cole, once known as one of the fastest guns in the West. But now, years of regret had dulled his fire. He wasn't chasing bounty anymore, nor running from the law. He was simply riding to forget. The valley stretched before him, barren, empty, yet strangely beautiful. Locals called it the Deserted Valley, a place where people came to disappear. Ethan didn't come for peace. He came for penance. Chapter 1. The Woman by the Cabin. It was near sundown when Ethan spotted smoke rising in the distance. Curious, he followed the thin trail until he reached a small, weathered cabin by a dry creek bed. A woman stood outside, feeding wood into a fire. Her hair was dark as the night, tied loosely behind her neck, and her eyes, when she looked up, held a kind of sadness that only the desert could understand. "Evening, ma'am," Ethan said softly, tipping his hat. "Didn't expect to find anyone out here." The woman hesitated before answering. "You and everyone else," she replied quietly. "Not many come through these parts anymore." Her voice was gentle but guarded. Ethan dismounted, dusting off his coat. "Name's Cole. Ethan Cole." She looked him over, her eyes narrowing slightly. "Cole," she repeated. "Heard that name once. You're the one who used to be—" Ethan cut her off. "Not anymore." Silence hung between them for a long moment before she turned back to her fire. "You can water your horse if you need," she said finally. "Creek's dry, but there's a well out back." Ethan nodded his thanks. As he led his horse toward the well, he couldn't shake the feeling that this woman, alone in the middle of nowhere, was hiding a story of her own. Chapter 2. Shadows of the Past. Her name was Clara Dawson. She had once been the daughter of a ranch owner near Tombstone, before her world burned down in a single night of gunfire and revenge. Bandits had raided her family's land, taking everything: her father, her home, her dreams. Since then, she'd lived here, surrounded by ghosts and silence. Ethan learned this over the next few days. He stayed nearby, repairing her fences, helping fetch firewood, and fixing her old water pump. She never asked him to stay, but she didn't ask him to leave either. One evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, Clara sat outside the cabin, her hands folded on her lap. "You've got the look of a man running from something," she said. Ethan stared into the dying light. "I was once a man who believed he could fix things with bullets,"